Okay, procrastination is something that I know I'm guilty of, and all of you have been guilty of at some point. Whether it be homework, putting off a project, not getting it done, staying up late the night before it's due, and it just leaves you being unprepared and kind of just not ready to do what you need to do. And an actual example of that is a speech. Instead of doing a prepared speech, which I knew I'd be cramming for the night before anyways, would be tired, wouldn't be ready to give it. Just why not cram 5 minutes where you have to do an impromptu speech? It's the same kind of thing. And it's the quote I had. It said, "Never do today what you can put off until next week," and that was by a student. And I have to disagree with this statement, because why would you want to put something off when you can get it done early? You feel good about yourself, about getting it done, and it gives you time to revise it and make it good. A good example of this is doing a homework, like I talked about, like a project. Up late, a book report back in elementary school. You skim through the book, you don't get an accurate, or you just do spark notes. You get kind of like cheat your way through it, and you're not really prepared. You don't know what you're talking about, and people can kind of tell that you didn't really do what you need to do in order to give a good speech or whatever. And this is and when you're doing it and you put it off, when you're in class, you might think about things you could have said afterwards that might come to you later, but the fact is you're going to get a bad grade because you weren't prepared at the time you should have been. Second example is in work, and this is not so much, procrastination isn't so much in like jobs we have today, like minimum wage jobs, like service jobs, but it could be more of a part of like in a business world. If you're hired to do a job for someone and you put it off, and you're supposed to come to their work and prepare like a presentation or whatever about the job they want you to do, and they're relying on you to do a good job and make sure it all goes down, because they have investors waiting, they have people, they have time and energy into the project, and you show up there with some half-assed like presentation, and they get it affects other people, you being unprepared, and that's just something that procrastinating or putting it off doesn't help. And the third example is in like world problems, such as like the oil crisis. It was projected we'll run out of oil in about 2020, and that has spurred, instead of waiting until we ran out of oil to find a solution because of how much we rely on it, there's many people who have invested in like electric cars and like fuel cells and all different kind of things to have a replacement for when the problem comes off. And if we were to wait until when the oil runs out, we'd be in a lot of trouble, and a lot of people would get hurt, and it would really hurt our country. And more global problems, kind of like in World War II when we saw Hitler. He went through Austria. We could have kind of ignored it, put it off, let him do his thing, and ended up, if he wanted to take over all of Europe, and we finally had to get into that. And it's just why put it off when you can stop something at the core before it gets to be too big of a problem. Because when it gets too big of a problem, then it takes serious like cutbacks and like extreme measures, which sometimes can be hurtful for a lot of people. And just in general, getting things done early, you feel better about getting it done. You have time to revise it, time to make it better. And also, there could be things you couldn't see at first if you rush through it that it could be a bigger problem than you once thought, and it could just turn out to be a lot more trouble than you thought it would be originally. So I disagree with the statement that putting things off till the next week, putting things off till later, not thinking about it, is a good idea. I think it's a terrible idea, and I think that if everyone's just prepared, it makes for a much better working society.
Thank you. All right, I thought you had a good personal statement, suggests what the topic area is. It's pretty clear what your point of view is. There's not really a structure that's set up as clearly as it could be, although once you get into the speech, I thought you had good internal signposts, so it did seem like there was a plan, but it's not as well laid out for the audience as it might be. When you got to those examples, I thought the more concrete ones are the ones that work the best. For instance, the one about energy resources and planning for the future, I thought that that was a good illustration of the point that you were trying to make. It's not just this esoteric sort of thing about preparing for your classwork that gets repeated 15 times. You had a couple of good illustrations that you're talking about there. On the presentation, everything's pretty level in your voice and in the delivery. I thought the thing that worked especially well on the vocal part of the presentation is that it's very fluent. You were going from one idea to the next very smoothly. There aren't a lot of hesitations. You don't sound like you're rushing. You sound like you're pacing things exactly the way they ought to be. Your gestures are a little bit limited because of the notes in your hands, but you did have a few indicators. Your facial expressions, they're not dynamic, but they are appropriate. Pretty good eye contact with the audience, except for those few times that you do have to look down, and each time you look down it does take you a little bit out of the speech. At the end, I thought you had a very good summary and a reminder of what the point was and had a good exit there. Thank you. Could you ask Nicole to come on in, please?